In the lecture before, you learned how to do the first main function in Focus, the so-called text prompt. And in this lecture, it's all about the image prompt. So let's have a look onto my screen. As you can see, I'm again in the starting screen of Focus, and to do the image prompt, we will also use the exercise sheet you also find in the download section. So we just did this exercise for the text prompt, and now we go down to the image prompt. And in this first task, the task is to create a similar house like this using this image as an example. And in the download section, you will also find this as example image 1 provided. And now we do exactly that. So we go to Focus, and first we select the advanced settings. Then we can again check here JPEG, and in this case we just create one image. We take the aspect ratio 1:1 because also the input image is a 1:1 image. Then we select quality, and here as a model we select again the realism engine, and everything else we leave it as it is. Good. And now how do we do an image prompt? To be able to upload our image as an image prompt, we need some more settings. So we scroll down a little bit and we just tick that box, input image. And afterwards we have the opportunity to upload images as image prompts. And we even tick that box that gives us advanced settings, so we have even more parameters to use. And in the next step, we go to our folder, we just upload the example image 1 by drag and drop. And as I said, you find these images in the download section. Now we have our little house up here, and there's just one more thing we have to do. We increase that parameter here, the weight, to 0.9. This is just my personal experience, and this is basically how much weight this image gives to the final image. And if we have a too low value here, the results are quite random. But with 0.9, we should get a nice house. And the expectation now is to get a quite similar image. So let's check it out, and we just hit generate. Nice. As you can see, the house starts generating, and on the first view I can already tell we get a quite nice result. So we already see at this point that the house we get is quite similar to the one we provided, but different. So this is a nice opportunity to create different images, but not exact copies of our input image. Now we wait until it's done, and then we will have a closer look on the other exercises regarding image prompt. Good, our house is done, and let's compare the results. So this was the input image, and this is the image we got out of it. Pretty nice, and as you see, it's a nice opportunity to just do some variations of images you may like. And now let's go back to the exercise sheet. Good, now that we learned how the image prompt works in general, it's time to get to know another important feature regarding the image prompt, and that is the so-called face swap. And the face swap is basically changing the face of an existing character by another face. And in this task, we will try to inpaint this face onto that body. And at that point, I just want to show you the general method of a face swap, because there are plenty of methods out there. And I also have my personal method of doing it, which we will learn about in the lecture about constant characters and AI influencers. But here I just want to show you the general method of doing it. Good. You will find also these images in the download section, so you can just follow the same step I do. Good. The first thing we have to do is, of course, go back to Focus, and I refreshed my screen here to show you again how it works. Good. The first thing we need is the advanced settings, and we select as always a JPEG, and we will create just one image. And regarding the aspect ratio, in this case, it won't matter because we will already use an existing image, so we don't have to select the aspect ratio. We also use quality. The styles, we leave them as they are, and here we use again the realism engine as our base model, and the rest we leave it as it is, at least for now. And then we need an input image. So we tick that little box down here and we go to image prompt because this is what we learn right now. Then we also need advanced settings. And now we have to upload the face image we want to use. And this is exactly the example image number 2. So we put it here. And now we click here on face swap and we adjust these values a little bit. So we set the stop at to 1 and the weight to 1.19. This is just my personal experience and I think it works really good with these values. Good. Now we go to InPaint or OutPaint and we select the method Improve Detail. More on that later in the section about inpainting and outpainting. For now, this is all you need to know, that we use Improve Detail at that point. And then we have to upload our body image. So we go back to the folder and we upload example image number 3. And now we have the possibility to use this little pencil to mask the face. So we can also change the brush with the mouse wheel and the control key on the keyboard. And we just hold the mouse key and we mask the face. Something like this. Good. Also a little bit of the hair here. You don't have to work too precise at that point. It doesn't matter, the AI will know how to inpaint the face. Good, then we zoom out again. With the shift key and the mouse wheel you can zoom in and out. And afterwards we have to do another important setting. And this is to go to the advanced tab, to the developer debug mode, to control, and then we have to tick that little box, mixing image prompt and inpainting. And this will connect inpainting with the image prompt so that these fields are connected and we can actually inpaint the new face. Good, this is all for now. And now we can start generating our image and we just hit generate. Good, now we are in the generation process of that image. And as you can see now, only the face of that girl is changed and we basically inpaint our new face. This works really good and we just wait until it's done and then I have some more information for you. Good, our face swap is done and if we check the result, I think we achieved a pretty nice result because now we have the same body, our German traditional girl, but with the new face. And it's already quite similar, but it's not perfect yet. But in the lection about constant characters and AI influencers, you will see a little bit a different method how to do a perfect face swap. With that method, you achieve a perfect result every time. One more important thing at that point, if you want to keep working in focus after you did just that, keep in mind to uncheck that little box, mixing image prompt and inpainting in the developer debug mode. You have to uncheck that because otherwise these two fields are still connected and you just get weird results and maybe you don't know why. So just make sure you uncheck that. And in case you get lost in the settings and you think you just ticked something and you don't know what it actually is and you get weird results, just close that window, go back to that window and go up here to this link, click on it again and restart that window. So then everything is back to default and refreshed and the errors should disappear. Good, now we did the face swap and now I will show you another important feature that is called Pyra-Kenny, and this gives us the opportunity to copy poses of other people or characters to our own character. This is also very useful and we go back to the exercise sheet. Good, this is what we just did and now we go to the next exercise, which is image prompt and the so-called Pyra-Kenny feature. Pyra-Kenny is basically a control net, yeah, that's the word of the technique, and this gives us the opportunity to capture the structure or the pose of an existing image and transform it to our initial image. And in this exercise, we want to have this girl in that pose. And how you do that, we will learn now. Good. We go back to focus, and first we delete that image here and also that image. And we already unchecked this little box so that these two fields are no longer connected. And now we can keep working here. And now we have to do the following. We upload our images. First, this image, and this is the girl we want to keep, but we want her in a different pose. So we leave it here at face swap, and we also work with these values, 1 and 1.19. This is tested, and I can promise you that these values work pretty good. And here in the second field, we upload the pose we want to copy. So we put it here, and here we use Pyra Kenny. And now we leave the values as the default, so at 0.5 and 1. Good. And up here we have the possibility to add a little prompt, and in the exercise sheet you will also find this little example prompt: a German girl posing on a field in a traditional green German dress. Because it's always good to give Stable Diffusion or Focus a little extra information, and in that case it's what we actually want to see. So this will increase the probability that we get a good result. Good, now we have the prompt up here. We have our initial image and we want to keep that face, and we have the Pyra Kenny to capture that pose. Good, now there's just one more thing we have to adjust, and this is the aspect ratio. And in this case we take the aspect ratio 13:18, which is also a vertical, and it's always important to go with a similar aspect ratio as the input images. This just increases the likelihood of getting a good result. Good, everything else we leave it as it is, the styles, the model, also the realism engine, and now we're good to go, and we hit generate. Good, we are done with our result, and if we compare it, it looks really good. Of course, the dress of the girl now looks a little bit different, so it's more distress, but the face, I think, is captured really good, and we have our German girl now in that pose. Keep in mind that the feature of Pyra Kenny and also the face swap I just showed you are more features if you want to generate general images. For example, if you don't need the exact dress or the exact face and you just want to create a similar image, then these features are very good. But when you want to have very specific results, please wait for the chapter about AI influencers, because there you will learn how to generate perfect images of characters that always look the same, and you will learn all the features about changing the dress and how you can take care of every detail. But in these first lections, I just want to show you the general techniques, what we are about to learn in that video course. Good, let's have a closer look at the result once again. So you can see the pose is captured perfectly, and also the face is quite similar, but of course, as I said, some details are changed. And feel free to play around with the parameters here. For example, if we lower the weight of this image here, we can actually try this. If we lower this to 0.7, we should probably get more of that image. So we can try it out. And yeah, play around with these parameters and also with different prompts up here, because most of the time Stable Diffusion is just a process of trying out and to testing different things, because the artificial intelligence has a little bit like your own character, and you never actually know what results you get when you just generate images. So it always takes a little while until you find the perfect settings. But as you can already see, now that we changed the weight of that image a little bit, so we lowered it, the dress looks more like that dress. It's more green, and also the legs are naked now, as before. So this is already a better result. So let's just wait until it's done and then we keep going. Nice. Now we have our German girl and she looks way more similar to that one. She's also here in a field and this lake we saw in the background in another image is now gone. And yeah, let's compare the results one more time. If we go here to the history log, we see the images we just created. So first, the image looked like this. We still had a white dress, and also this lake was in the background, and her legs were now covered with socks. And now the image looks way more closer to the original one. So we have the naked legs, and the dress is actually green, like we wanted it. Good. And now we keep going with the exercise sheet and we will have a look at the next main function.